Hello everybody and welcome back to the Learn Dota 2 League.
Dire team back.
Season 12, Week 5. My Beautiful Dark Willow Twisted Fantasy versus Lanaya Del Rey.
Radiant team
Game 2.
back. Dire team back.
Should be a fun one.
Radiant team pick.
Last time Lanaya Del Rey had a pretty nasty looking draft and it did not play out for them.
Dire team pick.
Not the right kind of nasty. Immediately running back the 4 Monkey King here.
Alright, classic.
Which is a little odd. I would say Monkey King had far and away the least to do with the success for WTF last round.
10 seconds remaining.
But if that's what you want to play, I guess that's what you want to play.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Got a fat man here.
Radiant
Alright, a
team
Pudge.
pick.
Pudge Techies? Oh.
No, Pudge Kiro.
Alright, it's just as good, really.
Yeah, you can ice pass somebody for free hooks. Or you could hook somebody
Yeah.
and dismember
Hook
them
somebody
inside
into
of
a
a
Macropire.
Macropire, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See?
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back.
Legion Commander.
Alright, Legion. It's a pick you pretty much always, instantly as soon as you pick a Legion, it's like both teams now have to think about the Legion.
Right, the whole world is now revolving around that
Radiant
Legion
team
commander.
back.
LDR's ability to win is going to be based on their ability to counter LC.
Dire team
And
back.
Willow Twisted Fantasy's ability to win is largely going to be based on if they can actually, make sure she doesn't
Radiant
die in the
team
early game,
back.
basically.
Yes.
Dire team back.
There are a lot of really good threes for dealing with Legion Commander. Notably, none of them have been going down so far. I don't think I need to tell you who the ultimate
10 seconds.
end-all, be-all counter to LC is.
Yeah, Brewmaster, of course.
Yeah, it's Brewmaster. You got it. You duel the little air panda or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Got a great idea for new LC Ags. Lets you duel anything you want.
Yeah,
Dire
he
team pick.
literally offers no benefit, basically.
No, you
Unless
still get the damage
still
if you
get
win.
Oh, okay. So it's just broken eggs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Can tell you this much, Ramonolo, if it is going to be Ramonolo on LC, does have the habit sometimes of not building the old Blade Mail on LC. Definitely going to need it this game with this complement of heroes.
It's true.
You're
One
just
of
not
them
going to be
total
able to.
damage.
You're just not going to be able to beat Pudge without the Blade Mail. Basically, he's just going to have too much HP. He's going to be rotting, almost guaranteed. Taking their sweet time with this one.
Seems to be a pretty common spot to just like discuss what you're doing.
Notably, 4 mids knocked out right in a row there. Well, I guess 3 plus OD, who's, flex. But, don't take this the wrong way, but I would not put my money on Hellscream OD being picked.
Well, it's gonna be HS Monkey King, surely.
Yeah.
Maybe
Doesn't
not.
seem- that-
It's
I
not
mean,
the guarantee.
yeah.
It could be Iceman Monkey King. Because Monkey King first pick is the classic flex pick, you know?
We might be seeing a Slizzy Enigma here. That would be fun.
Maybe.
10 seconds remaining.
Or we could be seeing a run over
Matt
meat
Enigma.
Enigma. That would be even more fun, perhaps.
I think it's godlike Matt. He plays himself a bit of Enigma. That's like a crazy win rate on it too. It's like a 60% win rate.
Yeah, I got better
So,
ones.
I would not be surprised to see it.
Lord like Matt. I think he's going to be running it too, then.
Probably off lane, just send someone else mid.
Holodeck to mid?
Yeah.
Or maybe
something like
they're gonna go back to week 1, have him 3, have Bolodek 4, and have Slizzy 2.
Maybe. Who knows? We shall see.
I like how he's in the clan Goop.
Yeah, it's a good clan.
Witch doctor.
Witch Doctor. It's gonna be very annoying for Enigma. The coconut is out, it's not safe to black hole, period. Unless, of course, you have BKB. It's a big ask for old Enigma. It's a
10 seconds.
high,
Glimmer Cape
high
works too.
price. Guess that's true, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Though, of course, if you're gonna rely on the Glimmer Cape, you have to make sure you're not standing on a sentry when you're black holing. Enigma can certainly get that that BKB up in relatively short order, at the very least. So there is that. Can tell you this much: the first time LC gets dueled, or duels someone rather, and gets black holed, she's going to cry.
Imba spirit.
Imba Spirit is
Bring
here.
back the Ember.
Yep. Good pick against Enigma because it's the way he plays. He's not going to be in sort of quote-unquote formation typically. He's not going to be in a conventional spot you'd expect a character like him to be in. Makes it a lot harder to get him to stand still and go into that black hole. Here we have the Underlord here.
That's a good setup for holes.
What do you think Ocelot would say about the Enigma and Underlord combo?
10 seconds remaining.
Not sure. I would personally say it's rather good. I don't think it's necessarily redundant, because
Right, even though
it just
you
works
have the
around
pit.
hole very well.
You have the pit, but you also have the Firestorm.
Yeah, you can dump firestorms into it.
Right, so it's not like you're literally just there to set up for him in this case. That's not too bad.
10 seconds remaining.
Though, of course, execution is always the fun
5
thing here.
seconds remaining.
Who's
That's
going to be
true.
the Underlord? And if we got an Underlord, that means it probably is going to be for Enigma. Then that leaves the question of what's Pudge doing. Is Pudge going to be our mid here? We going way back to the old days.
Who knows?
Got a very interesting lineup. I can tell you this much. They're going to need somebody who's got some objective killing power in that 5th slot. Because right now, they can win the hell out of a team fight if everything goes right for them. They'll never win a team fight if it doesn't, but you know, they can win a team fight if everything goes right for them, and they do have a good setup to make that quote-unquote right team fight happen. But what the hell are they going to do when the team fight is won? You know, dink the tower, the little Enigmites, you know, hit it with a liquid fire, like...
I also have Willow running back 3 heroes, so there's that. Monkey King, Witch Doctor, and Ember returning from the last game. If they pick Jug, it'll be 4 heroes, but I kind of doubt that, to be honest. I feel like there's probably going to be like
10
some
seconds remaining. Radiant team.
like offensive 4.
Well, there's
in this
certainly not going to be Jug now. You're thinking they're going to do Monkey King 1 this time?
Yes. That's what the Struth looks like to me.
It would certainly go well with the LC, I can tell you that much. Being able to just casually drop a big fat giant crit on somebody's head in the middle of that duel just instantly wins it for LC pretty much. There's not a lot you can do about it. Yep, here comes Rubik. It is going to be a 1. You were right. Holy crap. LDR, they're really going to... I mean, it's going to be a 1. I don't think there's really any two ways about that. I think Willow Twisted Fantasy had the same idea I did in that, you know, they're going to be looking at big time push to actually take advantage of the
5
space they
seconds
create
remaining.
from a team fight if it goes well for them. They have banned accordingly.
Yep.
We got the TA here. That's interesting. Is she gonna be one? She is one. Alright, you don't see that all that often. So Lizzie, I'm the Pudge here.
Gonna be a fun one.
No.
Rubik against Pudge, Rubik against Enigma. Wow. That Rubik pick is actually
Could be disastrous for them. They
Yeah,
got a
it
lot
could
of
be
big
very
things to steal
deadly.
here.
like Rubik against Pudge is already a bad enough matchup on its own, but then Pudge and Enigma and Jakiro, it's a bit.
And the Underlord
Could be
too. Even
game-changing,
Underlord
yeah.
can be big. Really, the only person who he doesn't really have anything great to steal from his TA, and even then, he still has a Fade Bolt that she doesn't like to deal with.
Yes.
I mean, no right click likes to deal with Fade Bolt, but you know, TA, who really has nothing to offer but right click, is higher up there. I mean, hey, technically, her little traps do damage now. So,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
true. If you, I think it's a trait.
Yeah, yeah. Underlord looks mad. Underlord looks like he's about to beat somebody up. Oh, cool. Underlord has a little piece of equipment there, like the Elder Titan piece of equipment, where this match is brought to you by the letter D.
Prepare for battle.
Oh.
Though it's not quite as blatantly a giant letter D as the one Titan, or yeah, Elder Titan has. Oh. Tell you this
Kid
much.
Dynamite is Nike sponsorship.
Yeah, yeah. Tell you this much. There's going to be a lot riding on the execution of this by Willow Twisted Fantasy. I think on one hand, on paper, WTF has a better draft. I think it's quite a better draft here. But on the other hand, I think they're also sort of more dependent on how all these individuals are going to be playing these heroes. On the other hand, while LDR has got a few deficiencies with how they've picked the lineup, I don't think there are any sort of deficiencies that can't be overcome. They're going to be focusing around team execution, you know. They're going to be focusing around, you know, all these pieces, all these parts coming together rather than individual play. So it's going to be a little interesting to see that. It's especially going to be interesting with having the X factor of run over meat here
The battle
in place of the standard pause 5.
Yep.
I like TA
Alright.
just waiting here. TA getting pinged. TA
Pings
pinging herself, actually.
Check it out. I'm here.
That's TA's secret. She's here. 3 people coming up
Let's
here.
say an offensive try lane, yeah. Alright, that's
Could
fun.
just be looking for first blood potentially.
Witch Doctor will clear out immediately.
Yep, does not see TA in position he wants perhaps. And just heads down to bot. Ramonolo getting really screwed up
Yeah,
here.
that's the level 1 TA strat right now. You can just shave off. I mean, LC is one of the tanker level 1 heroes in the game too, and you just shave off casually her entire HP bar.
My thanks.
I take what I please.
I like Matt is indeed down here. It's actually Pit Lord mid. That's interesting.
Alright, I think you can rather safely farm, at least.
Yep. He's gonna get rather safe farm. The only question is, what's he going to be able to put that to, and how is he going to be able to use these levels? That's a bit harder to say, to be honest with you. Ramonolo is back at full health by this point, has regen back up to full.
Yep, spells up.
Slizzy just being a bit of a menace down here. Without his, without Rot, he's not gonna be able to do that much yet. Pitlord actually winning the XP war here so far, not by a considerable margin. TA just running for the hills here. As Run Over Meat stacks up the camp. Rather slow start so far.
Yeah.
Seems like there's almost a bit of the whole I hope the other guy goes in mentality going on so far. The one creep giving away what TA's doing to ruin this. It's very sad. I think if she was in fog there rather than being chased by one single melee creep, that might have actually been a kill, but it just depends on if HS was willing to brave it. Actually getting rather messed up here. It is
They don't
notable.
have the finisher on Link unless Celsi procs. No.
Nope, in fact, somebody else had to
Godlike Matt
finish in a
does have
different
the
lane.
finish, yeah.
But, oh, this is real close. Oh, barely gets her out here.
Bad.
Alright, let's use the multicam, and by the multicam I mean the back button to see exactly how the first blood down here at bot. That's just pretty simple, and that just hooked him, and that was it. Pudge is one of those heroes that's very well kit to running people over in lane. You know, if you lane him down with somebody who has some good, especially consistent long-term CC, if you lane Pudge with somebody who has a long-term slow, then he can really mess with you there, man.
Yeah.
That rot, that damage adds up. Iceman getting sabbed up here. Monkey King back to full health. Quite a violent turn after a rather slow start to this lane phase. You know, funnily enough, the thing I was in the middle of saying is it seems like both of these teams are waiting for the other one to try and do something funny first, but looks like that kind of came to an end eventually.
I mean, that's always kind of the standard state you're in when you're playing Dota, and you don't necessarily want to be aggressive, just like watching for the other team to do something stupid and capitalizing.
Well, there is, I think there is a difference between watching for the old mistakes and, you know, sort of almost like playing around the idea that they're going to make a mistake at some point, you know?
Getting
Yeah,
that
hedging
sentry
your
up
card
for
on
the
Yep.
TA meld struts. Hello. Oh god, it's so
Yep,
painful.
Rubik just getting completely right-clicked down by the TA here.
Could not. For the temple.
The hero just comes in to liquid fire and be a nuisance.
TA is maybe one of the deadlier lane cores. I think Jug output above her, and that's about it really. Like Sven or something maybe, once he hits 6.
And even Sven is going to need that 6, you know, TA is aces from 1.
Just a level 1 meld, level 1 side blades, and
Actually missing some funny stuff down here, bot.
yeah, it's true.
Got a Witch Doctor into the tower here, but all the stuff on him just means that Pudge is already dead. The Maledict just sends him right to the grave as Enigma cleans up in his wake.
Yeah, extra damage from refraction is what I was saying. Is rather deadly. And often overlooked, actually, I feel like.
Right. A lot of people just, you know, when they're thinking bonus damage on PA, or on TA rather, they're just thinking about meld. That is certainly something to, I think you just kind of gotta consider.
Yep.
Witch Doctor might have been looking to get Pudge off of bounce there, just didn't quite get it.
And
They're
City
turning it
has
around
tomato
on,
potato.
turning it around on TA a little bit.
They don't have the finish
They've
here.
gotten
I
a
don't
kill
think. That's
on,
Fable.
in this before, but Jakiro's sheer presence means that's not happening.
Yep.
TA brought in a Falcon Blade here just to really push that landing advantage.
Dire's top
Yep.
tower is under attack.
You know, you've had some less than kind things to say about the Falcon Blade in the past.
I think in this very specific scenario, it's rather acceptable.
Pudge trying to
Pudge,
deny himself
come on.
on Tomato Potato. It does not work
Sad.
out here.
Radiant's middle tower.
They didn't
is
cooperate
under
with him
attack.
there.
Well, I was about to say, though Monkey King is in not the best spot, but he is right back on top there.
Middle is missing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think TA being 6 will actually have a bigger impact than you might think, because TA's 6 isn't like a massive power spike or anything, but in a lane like this, it certainly is, where pretty much Rubik's only answer to what was happening to him was just to run away, and that's gonna remove that option for him.
Right. And speaking of preventing him from running away, we do also have Pudge showing up.
Got a Pudge rotation, always classic.
Jakiro so far has not had a great impact in this lane. Has mostly been kind of sticking in this area, just managing the pole camp. Pudge might be a bit different story there. The Underlord is missing. It's not true. He's right there. You can see him.
Yeah.
Come on, Kid Dynamite. Put on your goddamn glasses. Witch Doctor just bashed into the Enigmites in jungle. Enigma can be a surprisingly... Yeah. Enigma can be a surprisingly annoying...
Good
well,
telekinesis.
Yep, that was unfortunately just kind of a... kind of messed things up, that communications with the hook there, I think. What? Wait a minute. Oh dear.
What
Oh,
are we
that was a
looking
bad
at here?
idea.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
There we go. I gotta know. Was it LC's? It was. She just made a tree in the middle of the lane for no reason with an iron branch. Alright.
Why not?
Run, little mouse.
It's a Grandmaster Monkey King. Wow.
True.
I think that's Grandmaster. I don't know those little icons. Oh god.
Monkey King, speaking of which, getting the first black hole of the game right on top of the Midnight Pulse, sitting in the middle of Rot and just
boy,
dying.
He almost got him.
Actually did go down to the Maledict.
Yeah, pre-nerf he would've just died. Sadly, you know, in a post-nerfed Monkey King world.
That society we live in.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That was a good first drop of the black hole there. Definitely put a
drop it on a pause one said.
Yep, put a damper on the momentum of the old Monkey King here. Pudge wants to try and get something done for his trouble here, but I can't say I find it very likely this is gonna go well for him.
Hey, good juke out of the E at least.
It's true. It's very bloody bot lane here. Especially, you know, bloody bot lane, kind of bloody top lane, and it's good contrast to the pretty much just stagnant almost mid lane.
Just forming against each other. They don't have the capability to kill each other without a rotation.
I will say this much, I feel like 63 last hits on the old Ember Spirit means a little bit more than 63 on the Pit Lord.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Check out the net worth chart, since looks like lane phase might be ending early. Yep, Pit Lord, once again, slightly in the lead for net worth, though. Like I said, 3.9 on Ember means a little more than 4.2 on him. Does have that nice regen rune at least, so there is that. You can just show up more or less wherever he wants for a while. So that's good.
Yeah.
He's getting an Ocean Heart, too.
Actually, considerably one mid lane here, to be honest.
Radiant's
Just
middle tower has fallen.
pulls down the tower. Well, he's at it.
Yep. I wouldn't say a considerable win at the mid lane. I'd say more of a stalemate favoring him, but getting the first tower is certainly
Objective
not a
one.
bad thing. Certainly not a bad thing. Yeah, objective-wise, definitely good for him. So, unfortunately, that mid T1 is probably, I would say, among the least valuable objectives. Well, not Witch Doctor,
Oh,
Enigma just
God.
getting completely destroyed here, though.
Yeah.
Bitlord has shown up, but really has no ability. Nice
Dynamite, yeah.
chains on the creeps. No ability to actually kill anybody himself, basically. He's pretty much all set up. For now, anyway. Got the first duel of the game here on
Oh,
Pudge, and
boy.
Pudge wins!
That is a shame. We won by like 30 HP.
That is an absolute tragedy. And every
Send your
just
tips.
tipping random people. I don't know what Ember Spirit did to deserve that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Tips just flying everywhere. This is inflation for sure. Oh, it's never great for the old team morale to lose the first duel. But you know, it is good. It is a thing you can recover from. At first, I thought she was just buying.
Classic.
At first, I thought LC was just buying a casual Helm of Iron Will for no obvious reason. Pudge really caught out here. He is just in a, as they say, a bad way. He is in fact dead.
Yeah.
LC had duel up. Oh, that's sad. That's so sad. Just barely didn't get there in time.
They're kind of a congregation here from the Radiant Heroes aside from Monkey King.
Yep.
It's all hovering around the top lane.
The Witch Doctor is not terribly close. Probably not gonna have much ability to do anything if it starts right now.
Trickster's rule of illusion.
And stacks up for the Ember, I would imagine.
More than
Dire's
likely.
top tower
I mean,
is
Monkey
under
King could
attack.
theoretically do them as well if he has Jingu at a
That's-
given moment.
He's going, like Battle Fury Monkey King, yeah.
Radiant
I mean, hey, you can
Yeah.
just get Jingu off somebody else's head and then drop it on the camps, get some money.
Dire's structures
But
are
it seems to be out of favor of the old Battle Fury Monkey King.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Considering, how he's, you know, been nerfed out of being an effective late game puzzle, and yeah, I kind of agree with it being out of favor.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Right. Just hassling each other in the dire jungle up here. Neither team really able to get much of an advantage here. A pretty decent macro here.
Oh boy. That's
Oh, it
two
goes
shots.
right back in a equally decent macro
Oh
by
my god.
the Rubik.
The
Black hole!
Holy
That's
god.
pretty much everybody there.
4-man hole.
I think LC, yeah, LC actually indeed still won that duel because TA died to the Macropire while LC was getting black holed, which is kind of sad.
Oh man.
Good first black hole there. Very good first black hole. And yeah, as mentioned, you know, Monkey King trying to
Radiant's
clear the
bottom
stacks
for
with his
three.
own.
Hey, he gets a sell from the shovel as well. It's convenient.
3 for 3. The perhaps the most important thing there was the duel win.
Oh my god, that hole.
They did lose both.
Yep.
Lose the TA and the Ember Spirit for that, though Monkey King survived. Can't you, West? I don't know what that means.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I guess I could if I wanted to, but
Is under attack.
Oh, you should. It's a great thing to do these days. Helps you. It helps stop you from going east, right?
That's
And
true.
you don't want to go east. You know what's east? Delaware. The
Sad.
Pit Lord just getting eaten in the middle of the jungle during his ult. Goodbye Pudge just dueled right to death.
Yeah.
Things are going pretty well for LDR for a while there, though. I think there's a bit of sort of, I don't know, maybe a comm line issue going here so far. It seems like not everybody's really on the same page as far as what they should be doing right now. And as a result, you just kind of have like little groups of people running around pretty consistently,
Right.
rather than a team or just like a straight up split.
Seems to be a remnants of a fight brewing at mid, but I don't think they'll take it without Hole.
Nope. They don't have Hull, they don't have the Pit Lord ult, or in fact, they do have a TP scroll. He's just taking the walk of shame by his own choice.
Not that his ult necessarily matters in fights, but yeah.
Well, it's a nice safety thing. It's not so much that the Hull matters in fights, it's more that the Hull matters if it turns out the whole fight thing is not a great idea after all. And yep, Monkey King just very casually going down. Oh, Jakira will follow him, getting hit with his own dual breath for his troubles.
Yep.
Oh, and all of it. Tip. Oh, and all of it, TA cleanly gets away.
Is that a tip for the Wukongs? That's fair.
Tip for the Wukongs, yeah. Rubik has now had his attack been pressed. Hey, you know, if you think about it, if you've got a Rubik and you've got an LC in the same team, Rubik can almost kind of use right-click things due to press the attack.
That's
I mean,
true.
still not very well, but like, you know, better than not having it at all, right? Pudge got his Aether Lens.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
An item that, if you're a Pudge player yourself, you know, that is an item that has a very high sort of game impact for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to notice, I think, if you're the guy on the other team, because you're not very conscious about the exact distance of the thing, though it will have a noticeable effect, even if you yourself don't notice it.
And you can also get that dismember off, you know, on a running target who's barely out of range of a normal dismember, so.
Always a good thing. I mean, that's a pretty wide range for a skill like this, so, you know. High game impact item for the guy. Might change things for him so far, because so far he hasn't had the most success. I mean, he's been doing alright, but you never want to have 5 deaths quite so easily with not that much to show for it. You know, still technically positive KDA. Enigma indeed, rolling right for the BKB, and he actually almost has it already.
Has a Hole available here, so.
Yep. Pit Lord finished up a Radiance pretty quickly, which is pretty good. I don't know while I'm looking at that. Very good. Some interesting T2 jungle items as well, including a Nether Shawl, which is present at least once over in every single game, and a Fey Grenade, which is present at least once over in every single game. Hey, I just realized something, speaking of omnipresence, right? You know who hasn't been at this series at all?
Ogre Magic, yeah.
It's true. I don't think he was in GG's vs. Nagas either.
Oh boy,
Wow.
they're looking for a Hole.
Era of Ogre Magi is over. Looking for a hole for sure.
Dire's bottom tower
BKB is not actually done yet here. You're gonna find Kid Dynamite very casually in the jungle.
They are, yeah.
And
The
Slizzy's
whole
gonna hook Esper, and Kid Dynamite is gone.
That's it.
It's rather unfortunate. And Esper says, okay, let's do Roshan said. Everybody else says, no, let's fight.
Let's run at Witch Doctor.
Yep. Rubik just barely getting missed out by the hook there. Is this bait, you think? You know, are they just trying to bait them into a position where they can get a really nice hull in? Because if I'm LDR here, my first thought is, well, if they jump into the Roche pit, then we'll just drop everything we got on them.
Yeah,
And
I
if we
mean, they
drop everything
literally
we got on
cannot
them,
contest this. Like, if they contest this, they're in prime position for a hole. And what are they gonna do?
Oh, they found the Monkey
Going
King.
anywhere.
Good heck! LC getting torn to
Oh.
shreds over various things. The good hook did not actually end up paying off as the Monkey King just ended up getting a kill.
Yep.
Well, assisting on the kill anyway.
Oh no, he's Jingle Bong.
Enigma just casually getting eaten by the Witch Doctor off screen.
Yeah, he was being hassled for that entire fight. I mean, they just did not let him, you know, have kind of a good go in.
Still trying to chase down the, yep, there we go. Chase
Yeah.
down the Pit Lord there. That would be indeed how you would contest that, which is, you know, stay at a distance and stay
Hassled the
apart.
Enigma, yeah.
Yep.
Which was done, you know, throughout the entire fight. You know, Enigma was just getting poked at, prodded at.
Right, and Pit Lord was just getting kind of run over through the whole thing. And down goes Roche. And Monkey King is the Aegis holder, and Ember Spirit has picked up a BKB. Unfortunately for Enigma, he has been set back on that BKB for quite a while without really much to show for his troubles. Slizzy has just annihilated a creep. Do you think maybe, no disrespect to Slizzy, do you think maybe the plan was to have Godlike Matt on the Pudge, or potentially even Meat on the Pudge, and they had to flex it onto Slizzy, perhaps? It was the first pick. Romanolo getting, you know, 50% less of an HP bar.
Okay,
Casually just dropping the hole on the Monkey
Get
King.
rid of that Iceman. They just make sure it's not a 6v5.
And then they all die immediately anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Immediately lose the Pit Lord.
KD's in a real bad spot here.
Yep, Kid Dynamite just getting out-damaged by the cores. Ramanolo falling as well. That TA is doing crazy damage and is now going to eat a Witch Doctor roll, but not all of it. And, though, well, going down herself. Enigma, the sole survivor of this for the Dire, and, well, let's just say I would not stake my money on him living this.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Rubik got the
That
stupid
Iceman Monkey
tease.
King is it's formidable.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's very interesting. You know, Iceman has had problems here, I think, in this tournament, underestimating himself sometimes, saying, you know, well, I can't possibly win this, you know, it's over, right? But in this match, it's actually it's almost the opposite situation exactly as Pudge goes down to the guy we're talking about. It's almost the exact opposite situation where Iceman knows the exact limit of his hero. He knows the exact limitation, the exact moment he's done, and he wants to fight until he hits that exact limitation, you know what I mean?
He's got plenty of experience, you know. He's either Master or Grandmaster. I don't know which one that is.
He's either a Ma or a Grandma.
Yeah.
Friend! Hello, friend!
So, and it definitely is showing. It's definitely showing well for me. It's a very good performance by him in this game. Like I said, you know, the confidence plays much more of a role in Dota than I think anybody gives it credit for. You know, the easiest way to lose a sure thing is to lose the mental game, right? And Will of Twisted Fantasy, I think, are a bit guilty on occasion of losing that mental game. But, you know, when it's all on, when that mental game is indeed there, and you have the confidence there, they can play really well with the compliments they have. Just kind of making that happen is the tricky part. It seems to me to this point that you know, they can turn that on very easily in good times. They can turn that on very easily when they're already winning, but it seems like the struggle whenever they're down to turn that on and start turning things around has eluded them even to now. Speaking of which, Willow Twisted Fantasy, just kind of looking around in the jungle here.
Yep.
Wanted to see exactly what they can find. Ultimately finding nothing, just pushing in the tower. Slizzy, no, that's actually not Slizzy, it's Balladek. He's gonna show up to try and do something about us, but just leaves.
Exit. Yeah.
Never
Does not
mind.
like what he sees, it seems. I wouldn't like that either. I mean, that's a lot of pain.
Yeah, it's still funny to see though. Rubik actually got the Pit Lord ult. After they kill this tower, he can actually just drop them down at bot if he wants.
Yeah, he certainly
and
can.
indeed is looking at...
yeah.
No, he's looking at going home instead, actually. And appears to be going home alone. Just a free TP scroll for him, basically.
Yep.
Coconut immediately just hits the BKB target. Enigma gets the black hole, got Ember Spirit and the Witch Doctor in there. Witch Doctor dead. Big ult on from the Pudge to the Iceman as well as the Monkey King follows suit. That's a lot of pain in a little time. That was a very good fight for LDR.
They can have a poke and high ground here.
Yeah, they could.
There's nothing stopping them.
You could have a buyback on that Monkey King, though. A buyback at this juncture is not something he wants to have happen to him.
Yeah, he's holding it. He really does not want it buyback. Oh
just
god.
Casually getting melted. TA here is doing crazy amounts of damage right now. And the funny thing is, to this point, we haven't seen that legendary 5-man black hole yet, but I think maybe, perhaps part of what's happening here is the sort of concern for that, sort of clouding what they're able to do here to a degree. You know, we can't line up for that black hole or else we're all going to die. So what we're going to do is we're all going to come in a conga line and stay in the skirmish line. And oh, what's that? I'm getting, you know, I'm getting flanked by TA and dismembered by Pudge. Oh, that's fine. You know.
Tool to teach.
I think LDR are actually playing this really well for their current situation. They're accepting the reality. They're accepting, you know, the de facto side of Dota, right? The truth of the matter is, and they know it, in these fights, holding out for that 5-man black hole is a fool's errand. They're just going to be way too conscious of letting that happen. And they're taking great advantage of the sort of, you know, at the sort of downsides that forces onto Willow Twisted Fantasy in kind to deal with it.
Right.
Which is good, because otherwise, right now, they would definitely be a very... I would say they would definitely be the down team for sure, but that last fight, I think, did turn things around a little bit for them. Though, that was in a large part due to the influence of the old black hole. And without the black hole, things might be different. But, still, Pudge got that shard.
They did manage to find the one hero in the game where Enchanted Quiver is actually good.
Oh, that's good.
Which is TA, mind. So, there you go.
Immediate duel coming in on the Jakiro here.
Yep.
Pudge actually hooking him out of the duel there.
Yeah,
that's a very good defensive hook use. Esper, though, kind of aided on the back of the fight there. Just got completely eliminated as the rest of the team just immediately hits the eject button. Just gets right the hell out of there. Only other person around in any capacity is Enigma, who is just going to be ratting mid here for a minute. Everybody's starting to ping the hell out of the guy. Balladek coming in to play point guard for him.
Yep.
Doing a good job not rolling over after that fight. That was a well-timed Pit Lord ult. You know, just took them right the hell out of danger. And even when they got out of danger, they still said, well, but we can't just give them completely free space, you know. Still kept a little pressure up, still kept farming a bit.
Yep.
Now actually kind of getting back into fighting position here. But just barely was out the hook there, unfortunately. LC has that ridiculous shard. Ridiculous. It's an object of ridicule, Randy. So let's hear it, ridicule it.
I don't have any ridicule, sorry.
Enigma actually got himself a quickening charm here. It's gonna lower the cooldown to that black hole by not an you know, a pretty considerable margin, you know?
Yeah.
It's very good find for the Dire there. Those black holes have been doing a lot of work for them, and everyone they can get is going to be something better. I think leaning into that with the old Ags and the shard for him in this game is going to be quite good, if he can get it. Especially if they can make that Roche. If he can just get a free shard and a free Ags, that's just great for them. Basically, it's everything they want to see.
Yep.
Enigma actually looking to do a little invasion there. Perhaps was willing to just drop a one-man black hole there if he found somebody interesting. But no interesting man found. 13 seconds to Roche. The LDR is really dramatically trying to stick on this thing. Uh-oh. That Ember Spirit has a double damage. That black hole against the Monkey King, though. He's getting pretty messed up. Oh, Rubik got a black hole himself, but it only lasted like a second. Pudge hooks Esper right out of there. The Ember Spirit diving back in wants a little more. Ramanolo wants some more too, but he did not like what he got. Iceman going down to the wayside as well. Kid Dynamite actually getting so messed up here. He's having to back even under the DD. Ooh.
Yeah.
Good hook, but not quite good enough, unfortunately. Well, Bolidek eats the Witch Doctor in the back line. That's it's a pretty heavy back and forth there, man. This this Enigma play has been surprisingly, it's been a very thinking man's Enigma game for godlike Matt here. I think you know, when people look at LDR, I think people always sort of focus around a lot on Esper here, but godlike Matt, man, we've seen a lot of times where there's been a lot of things on godlike Matt's shoulders. Oh my God, Pudge is gonna die to Roche. That's sad. Gets tipped. Anyway, Bolidek actually just getting split off the back of the line there. Pudge stretch, don't Esper.
That's fine,
Esper. Esper. Okay, good. Anyway. So, that Psionic Trap shard is actually pretty good as well. So, the, as I was saying, people put a lot of thought into Esper, right? But I think godlike Matt, there's been a lot of games, even when he hasn't necessarily come out on top, and let's just not sit here and stay in the world of make-believe and pretend that LDR's win rate is all that great, right? But even when he hasn't come out on top, I think he's had some very impressive performances, right?
Yep.
You know, it's, you know, in this game, I think, has been one of the best so far, and that's really the crazy thing. This is a really good game for him, and this still probably isn't his overall best game. I'd say the Storm Spirit game, where he was actually in with without Esper there. And even without the captain, playing with the stand-in and all that, he still had a very, very strong solo performance. Probably still his best solo game to date. I mean, probably not the best LDR performance, but for him, that was a very, very good display there. Putting so much stock into that arcane rune, everybody's just kind of hanging around it for a minute. TA having that Aegis is going to have a pretty big impact on the next fight, I think. Notably, Willow Twisted Fantasy's #1 way of securely winning a team fight has been more or less a mirror of what LDR's been doing right back to them when they've been winning, which is immediately get TA out as fast as humanly possible. Well, when TA has the Aegis, that's not quite so easy. It's going to have it's a high impact Aegis there. Fire taking out a tower down at bot T1, while LDR splitting up a little bit for the towers here. both sides kind of putting pressure on both top and mid. Ultimately, the decision is don't stick around mid too long. Pudge got his blink dagger. Don't stick around that mid too long. It's another surprisingly, well, not perhaps surprisingly, but another high impact game for
Yep.
item for Pudge there. Mutual
we got a
smoke here.
Double 5-man smoke.
Are scanning.
Oh, look. Ooh. Yep. They see, because they had the scan out. I do know someone is there.
Doesn't look like they're really all that excited about doing anything about it. Witch Doctor is more than happy to blow up the vision down here. Gets hooked for his trouble though. Now he's just sitting in pain, though they have no vision for the Glimmer Cape.
Yep.
It doesn't matter though, he's dead.
They do know. Yep.
Radiant's
He
middle
walked
tower
under
is under
the
attack.
uphill ward.
Yep. LDR taking a look at the mid T2 here now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Ramanolo looking at that AC. It's gonna be a challenge for him to get it, especially if this happens to him.
Yeah.
But you know, he's getting hooked by Pudge into complete pain. I think that's one thing that I didn't really put enough consideration into is how strong this Pit Lord pick is with this lineup as a whole, because not only does Pit Lord work really well with the Jakiro and Enigma side of things, he also works really well with the Pudge. You know, if somebody gets hooked, they have to stay in that that big old pit crap for a long time.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
LDR just casually taking out another Rax here.
Yeah.
I don't think this is impossible for Will-O-Twisted Fantasy at this point, but this is getting harder and harder and harder for them as it goes on. Looking at rotating top here, though unfortunately for them, the wave is nowhere close. And that catch who actually ended up with that Ag Shard off of the Roche there. Was it Godlike Matt? It was Godlike Matt. That's very good. That the magnetic black hole there, the black hole that actually works like a black hole that you would expect, like you would expect it to, is a surprisingly strong thing. So, Aegis pops for the TA, which means they're going to be potentially putting the brakes on their little siege warfare for a little while. Esper does not seem to be that afraid though. Oh, Underlord actually beat Ramanolo to the AC there. Oh, we got the Rubik.
Poor
Rubik immediately destroyed. People dropping things on the Pudge, but nobody actually wants to go in on the guy. We got TA getting a little caught there by the Witch Doctor and the Monkey King, but nothing comes of it. Witch Doctor eliminated. Slizzy is he's definitely slow started this game, but he's starting to really come into it now.
Yep.
You know, well, let's just be frank, earlier on this game, he could hook the ground and still find a way to miss, but now it seems like he's getting some pretty good picks out here. Going just better and better for him as time goes on. TA just slashing half this tower's HP off. Monkey King, unfortunately for him, is going to be Sans ult for probably more time than it's going to take the Omegas out. He's going to fight anyway. But here comes the black hole! It's got everybody except Ember Spirit! And everybody except Ember Spirit right into the grave. Kiro and Enigma popping the racks in the back line while TA point guards.
That is a dagger right to the back.
Kid Dynamite in a very familiar situation now, fighting against some Megas. Chasing out the godlike Matt though, Enigma getting shredded by Will-O-Twisted Fantasy in the wake of things here. Though unfortunately for them, TA gets away.
Middle tower is under attack.
Certainly unfortunate, yeah.
The more unfortunate thing is, as well, TA's not done yet. She actually is not, like, properly 6-slotted here yet. He still has crits to finish here. Which means she's actually going to get a little worse before things get any better. She's a hard one to win when you have Megas up as well.
Right.
Because she can shred your buildings in no time flat. If you're if the equilibrium pushes out against you quite badly, then can very easily turn into a situation of TA just melting your ancient in no time flat. Especially if she picks up the travels. It's like
you know, outside of their base, a surprising amount for a team that just got Megan, but
that's true.
That's life. Yeah.
Having to leave the Witch Doctor behind here, though, they weren't able to just push down quite in time for the team to come back up, which is a bit of an issue for the. It's hindsight. It's not something you'd be considering very actively. It is an issue for Will-O-Twisted Fantasy here, and funnily enough, it was an issue that LDR was nearly going to struggle with before that TA pick, which is they. Oh my God, Penta! They really do not have that great of objective clear. You know, Ember Spirit can eat waves, Monkey King can eat waves, and if he gets Jingu, can hit those towers pretty well. But LC does not have the kind of damage she needs. Does have that AC now, which is going to help a lot. LC does not have the kind of power to do it at this point. Dual damage just isn't there. See if anybody else actually has dual damage. I don't believe so. No. Luckily, at the very least, the one lost duel at the beginning of the game to Pudge is still the only duel she lost. But she has not won quite a few, but that's a big difference. Big difference between the two. Good Dynamite just trying to play almost a sort of a ratting role here, just trying to push out any wave where LDR is not present in. LDR, on the other hand, waiting for Roche to come up. It's going to be interesting to see if we see a repeat of history here, because it's almost assuredly what's about to happen. You're almost assuredly going to see TA just walk into the Roche pin, the team scatter around her when he comes up in just a couple of seconds. To be frank, I don't feel like at this point there's a great path for Will-O-Twisted Fantasy, but if Vesper gets an Aegis, that's it. I don't think they have a hope in hell. And it's looking like they're not even putting much consideration. They're not putting much stake into the idea that this is happening right now.
I mean, even if they did, it's
very difficult
a
thing to
guaranteed
deal with.
4v5 fight because you're Megan.
Right. We got, oh man, did he just, yep. That's gonna suck. Enigma gets a refresher. He actually can finish his axe right now if he wanted to, but I don't think they're gonna want to wait to get that in. But then, you know, not like they're actually losing anything if they do, right?
Right.
Got the cheese on the Underlord. Got the Aegis on TA. We got 5 minutes, so we got a pretty clear, straight shot at victory. Monkey King, not Monkey King, Rubik pinging the hell out of TA there, like, she's coming, look out! You know. Members of LDR are starting to slowly enter the base here. Really just trying to, I think, really just trying to sort of hold off until Pudge can nab somebody.
Yep. Oh. Looking a bit more here. Okay.
Everything's very slow. If we're not saying anything, it's because we're holding our breaths. What's about to happen? T4 is going to go down, it's the first thing. Uh-oh. Monkey King in the ice path!
Okay.
Monkey King in the black hole! Getting eviscerated! The Ember Spirit looking in, but here comes the second one, and it's over. It is absolutely over.
Yeah.
They glyph the Ancient
Ooh.
and call GG anyway. Holy Moses. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
You got
was
that
a couple
right.
good holes, dude.
Well, you're definitely right on the assessment there that guy like Matt was going to put on a good performance as Enigma. He sure did this game. And I really, you know, it's been a while since I've been able to say, you know, Willow Twisted Fantasy didn't do anything really, I mean, not Willow Twisted Fantasy specifically, but the team that went down here, the team that got KO'd here, they really didn't do that much wrong, per se. It's just LDR played things really well. The last pick TA really came into big play there. You know, the existing comp, they used it really well. They sort of constantly flexed between sort of priming for big team fight ults used for big team fight purposes and just dropping the black hole on one guy when they just need to knock out in a fight, which is always big, especially against a lineup like that. Funnily enough, they actually played pretty well around the Rubik as well. Who could have been a real issue there. They're being very smart with them, knocking him out very early in most of the fights, if you notice, or only fighting when they could get him on the sidelines, right? Saw a very interesting pit lord from a very interesting pit lord from Baladak here.
And of course, he had that jungle item that gives you plus evasion and magic resist.
Which is always nice to have as a 3. Slizzy had a slow start. He was missing hooks a lot early. It feels like I mentioned that Aether Lens is a high impact sort of item for Pudge, and I think maybe the thing with Slizzy, I don't know if he's that used to hitting hooks without Aether Lens. To be honest with you, it seems like the moment things started to change for him was when he got the thing.
Like, it wasn't that any like ridiculous, you know, hooked the wrong way or whatever. Just
right. He just was coming short a lot. Or and one thing that did happen that did at least stop towards the end of the game is hooking his buddies in the back. So
right.
that was a decent performance. I wouldn't say you can mark Pudge down as a legendary hero for old Sliz, but it certainly started slow for him, ended up getting better. Saw something interesting, I think, with the run over me and on the Jakiro here. I think he has a bit of a weakness in, like, knowing what to do with Jakiro in lane there, which is a bit unfortunate. You know, it's not like it was bad enough that it was like a complete, you know, fakakta for him, but TA pretty much ran a solo lane with Jakiro just kind of pulling in, and to the point where they had to get Pudge in to do what Ice Path should have been able to do, you know? Still, once lane ended and it got into the general game, I thought you saw some good macropires there, some good performance there from a guy who, to this point in the tournament, I don't think has actually run this hero yet. So that's good. Thought Ramanolo did much better on the LC this time than he did in his last performance, but still just doesn't seem to really be working out for him. You know, there's just always seems to be something that's really just making it just eluding it from him. You know, just keeping it right out of his grasp. There was that funny moment where he dueled TA, got black holed, and still won the duel anyway because it was on top of a macropire. That was pretty funny. But, besides that, success seems to be eluding the guy. Definitely his performance in the last game was a lot more impressive than this. I feel like Ramanolo, despite playing Mars about 1 trillion times earlier on, I feel like he plays a bit better, right? He seems to be a more natural fit on the more traditional tanky sort of pause threes rather than the initiator-focused pause trees, right? You know, he seems to be doing better on like a Pit Lord, and Pit Lord can initiate in a very abstract way. Certainly not the best guy in the game to
Yep.
do so by any stretch, but you know, he can do it, but I would not call him an initiator by any stretch, right? You know, he plays at a decent pit lord, pretty good pit lord, right? You know, but you see him on like the LC here, and it's just kind of fallen a little bit for him. I don't know. I do also feel like the team as a whole, you had the Monkey King there with the ability to drop the crit Q on the duel going on, and that's a great idea in theory, but it really didn't come to it in practice. I think the nerf to Monkey King was kind of felt here, as Iceman had
Yeah.
a great game start here, but he just could not scale up to TA's level, basically. I feel like if this game went longer, he probably could have caught up at least, you know, if he was able to get these last few items. But unfortunately for him, just did not work out this time, despite a pretty good start. And that's really what you can say for Willow Twisted Fantasy here. This is a game that you should not be, you know, I wouldn't be sitting here putting all my analysis into this game if I was Willow Twisted Fantasy being like, God damn it, what did we go wrong? This is for sure, you know, this is less beat yourself up if you're Willow Twisted Fantasy and more pop the champagne, LDR, we figured it out. The rebuild is over. We found what we can lean on now, and now it's just a matter
And
of
now they
taking
have
this.
exactly equivalent records.
Yeah, yeah. Pop the champagne. The rebuild is over. After quite a while of experimentation with this lineup, I feel like we finally found, you know, something that LDR can really lean into, something that LDR can really build around. Besides just having a good pause one, we've seen godlike Matt show his strength without, you know, just being the understudy, being overshadowed. We've seen Baladek show some strength. We've seen Slizzy come back from having probably the worst individual player performance of the entire season to, you know, being solid on here. We didn't have any comments from 12-year-old boy, but I would say Run Over Meat and not a 12-year-old are about, I would say, not like too far from each other. I think the things are starting to come together for LDR. So, like I said, definitely a cause for them to celebrate, more than a cause for Willow Twisted Fantasy to kick the dirt and say, "Dang, we lost." Any closing comments?
Not really. I mean,
All right.
they do have MF Doom next week. LDR does, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, they can become a playoff team, I believe, if they 2-0.
Right.
So there's that.
The MF Doom is going to be the real test here for them, basically. You know, the real test to see, you know, is this success, is what we found here something we're going to be able to lean on for the rest of the tournament, or are people going to start just banning out the godlike Matt heroes with the Esper heroes and just make a mess of things right back again? Hard to say. I don't know. Any closing comments besides that?
Those were my closing comments.
I said besides that.
No.
Anything about the game itself is more what I mean.
Nothing more than what's been said already.
I like how Pudge ended up with a quickening charm at the end of it.
Classic.
The fat man becomes the fast man. Alright.
Yeah.
If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg. It's too late to sign up for this season, but we're always looking for stand-ins. There's 2 in this game, for God's sake. And, you know, you can always sign up for the next season, which is getting a little closer every single day. With, that being said, we got a pre-show panel Saturday nights before the game, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 if you're on the Pacific Coast, and midnight if you're in the United Kingdom, or somewhere else in GMT. So, with that all being said, I'm Anani. This is Randy. Say goodbye, Randy.
Goodbye.
We didn't actually do that for the last set, because that wasn't where we were playing it in the recording sessions for there, I guess. And we'll see you next time for a little bit of Roche Riders versus MF Doomed, the exact team Randy was just speaking of. Up next, Well, next recording session anyway.
Gonna see what made Dragon so mad.
Yeah. Dude was pissed, brother. He was not happy.